action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Football Friday edition of Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. A jam-packed show planned for you guys today. 6 total picks for the NFL. And, of course, it is the return of the Greasy Moneyline Parlay. Looking to get off to a 2-0 start there. So no funny business off the top today. Let's bring in my guy, my co-host for the day, Iain MacMillan of VegasInsider. Now, we give Ian a nice little pat on the back here. He was correct with his pick of the Browns covering the spread there last night. Not to be outdone, though, Ian. I went 1-0 on walk props last night. Ranger Suarez, minus 165 to go over 1.5 walks. That's why most people did tune in to yesterday's program, to be completely fair. But big show today here. We got a lot of picks to get into. No more wasting time here, guys. Let's get right into the action. I'm going to start things off here with the Rams coming in as a minus 3.5 point favorite in Arizona versus the Cardinals. Let's get right into this one. Sean McVay absolutely owns the Arizona Cardinals. Check out what he's done against them in his career. 10-1 straight up, 9-1-1 ATS, 8 double-digit wins, 5-0 straight up, and ATS in Arizona. This is a great spot for Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp to fill up that stat sheet. Pro Football Focus grades Arizona at 32nd in coverage and 32nd overall in defense. Offensively, there's some issues for the Cardinals as well. They cannot convert on third down. They're ranked dead last in third down conversion percentage. I think we're getting a little bit of value here. I think this line should be higher. What would the spread be if Arizona didn't complete that amazing comeback versus the Raiders? What would the spread be if the Rams didn't let the Falcons in the back door after leading 28-10 entering the fourth quarter? Maybe a little bit of recency bias here based on some fourth quarters there from week 2. I think it all adds up for a Rams cover here in week 3 in Arizona. So there we go. Ian, what do you have next for your first best bet here?
Yeah, I'm going to start off with my money line upset of the week. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers to defeat the New Orleans Saints in an NFC South showdown on Sunday. I know the Panthers are 0-2 this year, but they've had some bright spots, very specifically their defense that ranks first in opponent yards per pass attempt through the first 2 weeks. That's right, the Panthers have the best pass defense in the NFL. They're also 4th in opponent total yards per play. So I think they can lean on their defense in this game, especially because they're going to go up against a Saints offense, which struggled against the Buccaneers in week 2. Yeah, they kind of beat up late on the shitty Falcons in week 1, but they didn't look so good in week 2. Big part of that is probably because Jameis Winston is playing with a broken back. I have no interest in laying points on a team that has their quarterback with a broken back. Usually not a good combination. And I'm just going to ride the Baker Mayfield roller coaster here. We've watched Baker Mayfield enough throughout the years. We know that he's going to have bad games, which, I mean, he didn't look great in the first 2 weeks, but he's going to have good games occasionally. I'm going to bank on this week being one of them against the Panthers' divisional rival here. So Panthers to win outright against the Saints. My money line upset of the week.
Ian, I'm going against you on that one. I like the Saints. I liked the Saints a lot last week. They were in most of that game, but the wheels fell off there towards the end. So I like the Saints at a short number there. But next up, we're moving on to the game of the week. Well, one of the games of the week. I think this one would be in contention with the Texans and Bears. Of course, I'm talking about the big Falcons Seahawks game in Seattle, where I'm going to take the over at 42 points. And let's not sugarcoat this for a goddamn second. Each of these defenses is radically incompetent. Allow me to explain. Seattle's defense showed its true colors in week 2, allowing 27 points on 373 total yards versus San Francisco. They should have given up a lot more points in week 1 versus Denver. They would have given up more points to any other team. Keep in mind, Denver had 2 goal line fumbles, went 0 for 4 in the red zone, but they did rack up 433 total yards. Falcons, meanwhile, they stink too. They can't stop a nosebleed. They've allowed 58 total points through 2 weeks so far this season. Explosive playmakers on both sides of the ball here. Lockett and Metcalf, obviously, for the Seahawks. Drake London off to a decent start here for the Falcons, and maybe Kyle Pitts will get involved in the offense this week. A bit of a disappointing start for him. I think this game actually sets up nice for each quarterback. Mariota versus Geno. Wow. Not quite Brady versus Rodgers. Not bad, though. Seattle quite bad in pass coverage so far. Atlanta awful at generating pressure. So I think each quarterback can generate a little bit of offense here. Ian, moving on. We have a second pick here for the big Seahawks-Falcons game. What do you like for this one?
It is the game of the week, Joe. There's no doubt about it. Give me my baby boys, my Atlanta Falcons, to get their first win of the season on Sunday against the Seahawks. I got a lot of stock in this Falcons team right now because not only am I going to bet on them, I've chosen the Falcons to be my pick in my survivor pool this week as well. A little bit of a bold call, but I'm going to go with it. I think the Geno Smith experiment is over. Listen, it was a pretty cute first game when he beat the Broncos, but there's a reason why he hasn't been this is the first time he's been a starter since like his first or second year in the league. He's been a career backup. Only 6.6 yards per pass attempt so far this season, ranks in the bottom 10 of the NFL. And speaking of passing, the Seahawks secondary has been terrible. 29th in opponent yards per pass attempt, and now they have to go up against the Falcons receiving core, as you mentioned, Joe. Pretty good through the first couple weeks. Drake London has been one of the better rookie receivers. Cordero Patterson has been great out of the backfield. And I think this is the week Kyle Pitts finally gets going. And Seattle, terrible in the red zone in the first 2 weeks. They have been in the red zone 3 times. They have scored a total of 0 touchdowns in the red zone. That's not good. It's going to be hard to win games that way. The Falcons, 2-0 against the spread, by the way. Yeah, they're 0-2 straight up, but they played a Saints team pretty tough. Should have won that game. And then they came back and made it pretty close with the Rams, too. So this Falcons team, better than we thought heading into the year. I'm going to take them to beat the Seahawks outright on Sunday.
To go, Ian, contradicting a few of the points I made for my over bet, but absolutely a path to victory is alive for both of us. You know, every other show out there is breaking down Dolphins, Bills, and Packers, Bucks, but chasing that paper, you're home for Seahawks, Falcons betting analysis. So moving on to somewhat of a big game here, the Sunday nighter. We got the 49ers in Denver to take on the Broncos. Total will drop to 44.5 there as of this morning. I'm going to take the under on this one. Let's get right into it. So no need to sugarcoat this one. Each of these teams straight up trash in the red zone. Start the season combined 3 for 14 on red zone TD conversions. Highlighted by Denver at 0 for 6. Now to their credit defensively, Denver hasn't allowed a red zone touchdown yet this season, while both defenses have been great on third down. As for the 49ers offense, they are clock suckers. San Francisco likes to suck that clock. What do I mean by that? The second highest rushing play percentage this season. That's a carryover from last season, where they had the 4th highest rushing play percentage. When that ball's moving on the ground, the clock is moving too. Low scores are the absolute
NFL, and with the Eagles offense, you know, I think their offense is good for sure, but I don't think we're going to see Jalen Hurts go off like we saw on Monday night against the Vikings. And let's not forget, the Eagles run the ball an absolute shit ton. You run the ball, you're gonna suck the clock, as you say, Joe. And Eagles, their week 2 defensive performance was much better than their week 1 defensive performance. I think they're going to be able to shut down this Washington Commanders offense. And in terms of a bright spot for the Washington Commanders defense, 4th and 3rd down opponent third down conversion percentage. So if you're able to stop teams on 3rd down, that's going to force a lot of punts, and forcing a lot of punts is going to help the under out. So I'll go under between the Eagles and the Commanders on Sunday.
You're not buying into the Carson Wentz revenge game angle?
No, he's a bum.
Carson Wentz?
No.
He's going to throw for 400 yards in this one. Now, people have come to me this week. I've heard that angle from 2 or 3 different people. Carson Wentz revenge game. Just because Carson Wentz is really motivated, guys, it doesn't mean he's going to fill it up. If he has a good game, maybe he has a good game. It's not because he's extra motivated. Okay, so that's it for the NFL. Now it's time for what I guess we'll call the main event here, the Greasy Moneyline Parlay. So we got off to a good start there last week. 1-0. Did we deserve to win the Greasy Moneyline Parlay last week? Absolutely not. The 3 college legs on that won by a combined 5 total points. But we're on to another week. We're looking to start 2-0 here, and quite a bit of excitement A lot of people gathering outside my house. A big traffic jam right now. I actually have a drone camera. We'll ask producer Tito to switch over to the footage from outside my house. A wild lineup. Look at this. Someone's going to call the police. Get them out here. So, yeah, quite a few people there. Not exactly an HD camera. Looks like a lot of older vehicles.
Yeah,
out here at the farm that I live at. My neighbors aren't going to be too happy about that. But it is what it is. So let's get right into it. 5 legs, all coming from college football. This is going to come in at plus 112. The Greasy Moneyline Parlay starts off with Michigan coming in at minus 750. 10 straight wins at home for Michigan. They destroyed Maryland by 41 last season. Looking to maintain its top 4 ranking. The foot is not coming off the gas. Next up, Cincinnati, minus 750. A 26-game win streak as a home favorite. Indiana, not a team that pulls off a lot of upsets as an underdog. 9 straight losses as a dog, 7 of which come by double digits. East Carolina, minus 800. Awful start to the season for Navy. This is a fade of Navy. I have nothing against the Navy in general, but an outright loss as a 13-point favorite in week 1, a 24-point loss in week 2. 4-15 in their last 19 games. Navy grades as the 115th best team over at Pro Football Focus. East Carolina, perfect 3-0 ATS this season, covering the spread with ease. Just need a money line win, though. Next up, we got Tulane, minus 480, and this is a big fade of Southern Miss, who is a real punching bag here. No, congrats on winning last week as a 33-point favorite, but they're 3-10 in their last 13 games. Their pass blocking is a serious concern versus this rock-solid Tulane defense that's allowed 20 points in 3 games while scoring 111. And we will bring it home with Oklahoma, minus 460. They're knocking on that door, trying to make a case as a top 4 team, especially if a team ahead of them slips up. 10 straight wins at home, 18-2 overall in their last 20. 3 straight wins of 30 or more to open season. There you have it. The Greasy Moneyline Parlay for this weekend. I'm excited to settle in and watch some college football and cheer for a couple gigantic favorites to all pick up a W. So 7 total bets on the show today. If you're looking for a place to place these bets at, I recommend placing them over at BetMGM. Kick off the pro football season with the king of sportsbooks. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code VIBONUS. Your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. That's VI bonus, all one word, no spaces. And your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 or older. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Woo! No word yet from Jamie Foxx whether or not he will come on the program. Having a hard time tracking him down. So, Ian, let's talk a little bit about this game here last night in Cleveland. It got off to a faster start offensively than most people expected. I hope a lot of you guys had the full game over, which we'll talk about, and the first half over especially. That was an easy win. But some just, historically awful bad beats in this one. So, if you teased Pittsburgh up to 10.5 or 10, you got absolutely screwed. They lost by 12 points after the pathetic attempt at a hook and ladder. A few failed laterals there by Pittsburgh. So, yeah, that's just a horrible loss if you had Pittsburgh on a teaser. I saw a lot of people did a same game teaser last night. Now, of course, this game, the total for this opened at 40 and 40.5 at some spots, and people pounded the shit out of that under. You got it down to around 37, I think. But if you took that under earlier in the week, you were looking at a push. If you had 40, you were looking at the under. If you had 40.5, of course, that last second touchdown pushed it over. One that I caught wind of here this morning, Ian, Barstool Sports tweeted this one out. Worst beat of all time. Chase Claypool lost 6 yards on the final play of last night's game that caused him to go under his receiving yard prop by 0.5 yards. Oh, absolutely insane. My thoughts on the game as a whole, I thought both quarterbacks played pretty good. You know, Brissett making a bit of a name for himself with those QB sneaks. He connected on a couple nice passes. I thought Trubisky played pretty good. I thought he made a couple of good plays. Pickens bailed him out on one throw. He made that amazing catch, but I thought he got burned by Deontay Johnson. If you look at the stat sheet, you'll see, hey, Johnson put up some pretty good stats. I think he had 7 or 8 catches, but he also had a couple bad drops. I think he had one really bad penalty there as well. So Pittsburgh's still not a good team. I don't think a whole lot of Cleveland either. We'll see how they look versus some better competition here. They haven't played good competition to open the season. Carolina, the Jets, and Pittsburgh. Not too impressed by that, but any takeaways from the game last night, Ian?
Yeah, I'm starting to think the guy to blame in Pittsburgh in terms of their offensive issues is their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada.
He's a bum.
Yeah, no, the plays he's running aren't really inspired, actually. So I'm starting to put the blame on him because I agree. I thought Trubisky looked fine last night. You mentioned it, Deontay Johnson dropped a couple of key passes that would have made a difference in the game. And Jacoby Brissett, it's the same thing that I was saying before the season started. He's very rarely going to lose you a football game. He's not going to do these flashy things that are going to, make the highlight of the night. But he's going to go out there. He's going to manage a game. He's going to make his reads. He's going to make some throws. And that's all the Cleveland Browns need because, as we saw last night, their defense is dominant. And they have what is, in my opinion, the best running attack in the NFL as well, which we saw last night. Nick Chubb, especially on full display. So all he needs to do is not lose the Browns games, and he'll be fine. And last week against the Jets, he did kind of lose them the game. He threw a really bad interception late in the game. So he eliminates those, and the Browns are going to be A-okay for the next few weeks, I think.
Yeah, there's no excuse for Pittsburgh. They're not going to be a top half of the league offense. There's no excuse for this team not to be able to score 20 points a game, though. You have 3, I guess you could say, above average receivers, a decent tight end, a very athletic running back, an athletic quarterback, and Trubisky, I guess, he makes a lot of silly mistakes. But like I said, I think he made a lot of plays there last night. Ian, did you have a final thought? Is that what you're motioning towards over there?
Yes, I do have one final thought. Have you scheduled your tattoo yet? Because if you remember on the show yesterday, he said whoever loses, because we were on opposite sides, whoever loses had to get a tattoo of the other man's face on their bum. So are you ready? Have you chosen the picture of my face that you're going to get tattooed on your butt?
Yeah, you send me a headshot, and as a special bonus, I'm also going to, I purchased a Deshaun Watson jersey last night. I mailed that out to you, so you can wear that around town when that arrives. Wear it around town with pride, right? You think they even sell those? Seriously? Who in their right fucking mind is wearing a Deshaun Watson jersey? Right? You want to be seen in public with that? I understand Cleveland, hey, you're excited about getting a quarterback in town, but you want to be able to celebrate this thing when you're giving the guy the most money in NFL history and giving up, 3 first-round draft picks for the guy. So that's a total embarrassment, and not to spend too much time on it, but I think this Deshaun Watson signing is going to set the Browns back to being one of the most disgraceful franchises in all of football. They had some bad karma there in week 2. Okay, so if you love what we do here at Vegas Insider, you should check out the brand new Vegas Insider app. We've got up-to-date, easy-to-navigate odds for every major sport. We have all our latest shows, best bet videos, and podcasts, props, trends, futures, news, all on the Vegas Insider app. Download the Vegas Insider app right now on Apple and Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. Okay, it is time to move on to the viewer pick segment of the show. Picks from the CTP crew. Quite a response here this morning. These guys are hitting winners for us left and right. So let's get into these here. Sean Mitchelson, a bit of a regular here in this segment. He likes the USC team total over 37 and a half. Excuse me. He trusts a point total more than the -6.5 spread versus the Beavers. The Beavers screwed me before in a Greasy Moneyline Parlay. They are a good underdog team. This should be a shootout with Lincoln Riley and USC averaging over 50 points per game. Yeah, not a bad look there from Sean. What do we have next, Tito? Devontae Adams. Yeah, this is one I liked here. Over 77.5 receiving yards. Big week 1 showing, and week 2 was a down week, but he loves a bounce back potential. Raiders in a desperation spot at 0-2. And the target volume will be there. Titans, frauds. Shout out Ian. Just had Dig shred them, eyeing more of the same here. What do you think of Adams and the Raiders here, Ian?
Yeah, I like it quite a bit. I am on the Raiders as well, and the Titans are a bottom 5 team in the NFL, as I've been saying now for almost an entire year. And look at me, I turned out to be right.
Yeah, it looks like the wheels are falling off there. Okay, Tito, what do we have next? Captain Betts weighing in. UNC will face their first big test of the season against Notre Dame. UNC's D is giving up 486.3 yards per game and 273 in the air. Notre Dame's QB, Drew Pine, will look to cement his starting QB status. Notre Dame should be playing with a chip on their shoulder. Utilize their stout D. He's on the money line, plus 110. Yeah, a bit of a disappointing start to the season. I'll call it an embarrassing start to the season for Notre Dame. They need that janitor from the Rudy movie to come out, be on the sideline. A little bit of inspiration. That gentleman, he can motivate anyone to a win, right, Ian?
That's right. Motivation. It's the number one key in handicapping.
Yes, sir. Okay, moving on to Rouge Bets. Tiger Cats, Alouettes. What league is this? No, Ian and I know this league well. It is the CFL. We are a CFL-friendly program here at Chasing That Paper. He likes the Tiger Cats, Alouettes. Je peux parler français. Under 52. He expects the Cats to regress after last week's huge offensive outing, as well as the Alouettes haven't been good off bye weeks earlier in the season. Ian, are you still betting CFL, or have you turned that off now that the NFL has started?
Yeah, I have not bet in a little while. Fun little fact for the Americans watching the show that aren't familiar with Canadian football, a Rouge, and this guy's name is Rouge Bets, is in Canadian football, you can punt it out the back of the end zone and get one single point. It is called a Rouge. Fun fact, CFL.
Rouge. Est-ce que tu peux parler français, Ian?
Je peux parler un petit peu de français.
Oh, all right. Our French audience, if you know any French friends, tell them that this is a bilingual program, right, Ian? Get up the numbers around here. All right, so Kowloon City. I know this guy from Twitter. He often gives me a hard time. He sometimes gives me a soft time, we'll call it. He is on Raheem Sanders to score, minus 140. Arkansas will continue to run the ball with Jefferson and Sanders. A&M better versus the pass. Sanders averaging almost 7 on the ground. He will get the rock all day in the red zone. I think Sanders gets in the end zone twice, actually. Shout out to Kowloon City. We don't get much college football player props around here. Ian, do you like Sanders' chances of finding the end zone?
No, I do not. No, I'm going to bet against him. I'm going to fade that pick. How about that?
Yeah, to be completely fair, our buddy Gilles Gallant, the touchdown betting king, he'll be on the show with me next week, by the way. He says don't bet touchdown scorers who are being offered at minus money. Not worth it, he says. So, but that said, we will wish our buddy Kowloon City luck, and we'll have Raheem Sanders get into the end zone here, quite possibly. Okay, guys, it is time for today's Handicapper Heat Check, presented by VegasInsider.com. Your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. Today, we recognize Vince Aikens, who can be found on Twitter at SBBreakers. Vince hit the West Virginia at Virginia Tech under last night, increasing his season record to 23-10, hitting at 70%. He is also on an 11-3 college football run for over-under plays. Vince has 2 picks posted for Friday night and a monster 13-pack of Saturday college football winners. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks to score his best bet or grab Vince's 3-day football package at a discounted price. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, bettors. Yes! Not frozen. Ian, where are you staying this weekend? You at the Econo Lodge? You at the Motel 6? You at the YMCA?
Yeah, YMCA, my usual home. That's where I'll bunker down for the weekend, I suppose.
You mainly in the locker room. At the YMCA for what? $16 a night. You can get a workout in, get a decent shower, hit the steam room, hit the sauna. That's where you want to be. The YMCA, absolutely. Okay, so guys, in and out here in about 24 minutes. If you're watching on YouTube right now, I kindly ask that you hit the like button on this video. Hit the subscribe button right down there as well. Also, hit up that comment section. Let Ian and I know what some of your best bets are for the weekend. Ian, what can some of our viewers look forward to from you? What have you already done this week that they can dig into if they want more Iain MacMillan?
The week 3 episode of the Bacon Bets podcast is live, so you can check out that for my best bet for all 16 NFL games. I'm 1-0. I finally hit a Thursday night bet, so 1-0 heading into the weekend. I need a big bounce back week after last week, so check that out. And all my other work is available over at fansided.com/betsided.
Yeah, I need a big week too. I'm down on the season here, Ian. Not off to a good start. Like you, I am a stats-based handicapper for the most part, and we're kind of working off like 1 week and 2 week sample sizes and going back to last season. That stuff doesn't always carry over. So hopefully having some more numbers to work with here in the coming weeks will up our winning percentage. So that's it for me here on Chasing That Paper. More coming up here on the Vegas Insider YouTube page, down to the wire at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Guys, good luck with your bets tonight. Good luck with your bets this weekend, unless you are fading us. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo!